So, when the US needs to finance a trade deficit or a massive fiscal stimulus, it issues more debt and essentially prints more dollars.
Right. And because the rest of the world needs those dollars to buy oil, commodities, and settle trade, they absorb that new supply. The inflation, the devaluation effect of printing money, is partially exported overseas to all the countries holding those dollars. It's like having a sponge that absorbs the excess liquidity, and that sponge is the global economy.
That's a fantastic way to put it. Now, let's bring it down to the individual wallet. Especially for listeners outside the US, how does dollar strength or weakness act like a domino effect on their daily economy?
For anyone living in a non-US country, a strengthening dollar is like a rising tide for their imported costs. Let's look at three areas. Commodity prices, oil, gold, copper, wheat, they're all priced in dollars. If the dollar strengthens by 10% against the euro, Europe now needs 10% more euros to buy the same barrel of oil. The clear result is higher energy prices, higher food prices. Imported inflation. If your country imports any finished goods, think machinery, tech components, iPhones, those dollars are strength, makes those goods immediately more expensive, driving up domestic inflation, which, as we know, is the silent tax on savings. External debt. This is the scariest part. Many developing nations have debt denominated in dollars. When the dollar strengthens, their revenue in local currency shrinks relative to their debt obligation in dollars. Repaying that debt becomes exponentially more difficult, sometimes leading to sovereign debt crises.
It's truly a zero-sum game in that sense. The dollar's gain is the importer's cost. So, for listeners in importing countries, the takeaway is simple. Diversification is their personal insurance policy against that local devaluation.
Absolutely. Controlling the tide means not letting it sweep you away. Having a small, strategic portion of savings or assets linked to the dollar is often a conservative, protective strategy in volatile markets.
The petrodollar system, the rocket booster. If Bretton Woods was the foundation for the dollar, then the petrodollar system was the rocket booster that ensured its survival after the link to gold was broken. This is a chapter many people don't fully understand. Tell us about the Great Open Secret Pact.